from county restrictions to now region restrictions. We break down everything you need to know about the new Healthy Washington reopening plan.
And we are tracking a little light rain and snow this evening. The rest of your weekend forecast is coming up.
Plus, we've got a sneak peek into the new location for Amazon's latest expansion in Spokane.
Good evening. Happy Friday, everyone. Thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
Happy Friday indeed. I'm Whitney Ward. On Monday, Washington's new approach to reopening officially begins. So this week, Governor Jay Inslee announced a new set of phases and new criteria for when those phases can begin.
And at this time, it won't be done by county. It'll be done by region. Our Casey Decker has more on exactly what will happen come Monday and what smaller counties in our area feel about this new strategy.
The new approach so far has only two phases. Phase 1, which is pretty similar to the current restrictions, and Phase 2, which of course lifts some of them. In order to get to Phase 2, a region needs to meet 4 different criteria. Spokane County is part of an eastern Washington region with 7 other counties. Right now it's safe to assume we don't yet meet the criteria. So what does that mean? Well, come Monday, we'll enter that new Phase 1. Most of the rules are the same, but there are some changes that certain businesses will be glad to hear about. Arguably the biggest is that some kinds of indoor fitness will now be allowed with masks and distancing. For sports that don't require contact, like gymnastics and climbing, training will be allowed, but only in groups of up to 5, and it should be the same people in each session. Appointment-based fitness will be allowed for up to 45 minutes and with severe distancing requirements, 1 customer per room or 500 square feet. Another change, outdoor venues. Places like zoos and outdoor theaters can allow groups of up to 10 in, as long as those people aren't from more than 2 different households, and groups must be allowed in on a timed, ticketed basis. Again, masks are required. And one other small change, the maximum allowed for outdoor dining will go from 5 people to 6. The new rules also specify again no more than 2 different households in such a group. One of the big differences in the new plan, advancing to Phase 2 will be on a regional basis and entirely based off specific statistics. Now, on the one hand, that means people will have a more specific picture of when reopening could begin. But on the other, it can tie in smaller counties with lower COVID numbers to bigger counties with higher figures. Lincoln County Commissioner Scott Hutzel says that's frustrating given all the hard work that's been done to keep their numbers relatively low.
Not that we don't have any COVID here, don't get me wrong. We've got cases and our per 100,000 has been kind of up and down and stuff, but we think we can make those decisions locally.
He says he understands the region is tied together. Many Lincoln County patients wind up in Spokane hospitals, but he's concerned this solution is oversimplifying. Casey Decker, KREM 2 News.
We are also digging deeper tonight into the way hospitalization data is now being tracked at the Spokane Regional Health District.
So the district used to track exactly where each COVID patient was from because while they were hospitalized in Spokane County, they didn't necessarily live in Spokane County. But we're told that data was becoming less and less accurate, especially as the case numbers have continued to spike. So the question is, how is this going to actually impact us under the governor's new reopening plan? So I got answers for that, and it's coming up tonight on KREM 2 News at 6.
A huge spike we're seeing tonight in Spokane County in terms of COVID cases. The Regional Health District is reporting 633 new positive cases. That is the 3rd highest single-day spike, and it brings the total number of cases to more than 29,000 confirmed in the county. 6 new deaths were also reported today. 405 people have died from the virus in Spokane County since the pandemic began. Currently, 119 people are hospitalized in the county, and right now about 75% of those cases have recovered.
Coronavirus restrictions dramatically impacted how people grieve the loss of a loved one.
Leela Bradish manages 3 funeral homes in the Spokane area, and she says that she and her staff have had a difficult time helping families who've lost someone. Many of them haven't been able to be with their loved ones before their passing.
And we've had people in our buildings crying, just saying they haven't seen their mom in over 5 months. And this is the first time that they're seeing her. It's heartbreaking.
She says her staff has gotten creative in order to help the families they serve. They have live stream services, created slideshows, and sent them out to family members on flash drives. She says anything they can make happen for these families, they try to do it.
Hard to imagine not being able to grieve your loved ones.
Terrible, terrible.
All right, we want to turn to weather now. Yes, we're so excited that it's Friday. We're all looking forward to the weekend. The day started out clear. Things kind of took a turn. It got cloudy, but then right as sunset was happening, the sun came out again, and it was really nice.
Which is good news because Tom always says he's solar powered. So look at him over there, man. He's just
I am solar
ray
powered.
of sunshine.
Feeling good right now. And I thought we'd get quite a bit more rain and light snow at about this time tonight, but it's not really materializing. I'll show you the Doppler radar here in just a few moments. We're at 36 degrees, so we're above freezing, of course. The winds are calm, so I was out and about on a walk today, and it felt okay because the wind wasn't blowing. There you can see it. It looks pretty quiet. There's a little bit of light snow up in the Ferry County area, and we're seeing a little bit of rain down in the lower Columbia Basin, and also some snow, light amounts of snow in the Blue Mountains of southeastern Washington. But as you can see, looking pretty darn dry right now. Still, I've got it in my forecast. We could see some light rain and snow showers. We'll look for foggy areas over tonight, down to about freezing, and then tomorrow fog and low clouds, mostly cloudy skies for the remainder of your Saturday. 37 the expected high. Could see a few snow flurries, but not looking for any accumulation on Sunday, and we'll see a daytime high of 38. I'll check the rest of your 7-day forecast, all coming up in a few minutes.
Sounds good, Tom. Thank you very much. Calls for President Trump's impeachment are growing on Capitol Hill as the fallout from the siege on the Capitol by a mob of pro-Trump supporters continues.
So many White House officials, as well as close allies to the president, they have already resigned. But the House has to act first, as they say they are preparing to do now. The job is to vote and decide if the president should be impeached based on those articles. The Senate would then act as the jury in a trial that would be overseen by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. This entire process unlikely to be done before Inauguration Day in just 12 days. For reference, Trump's first impeachment took 49 days from the day the House voted to the Senate's acquittal. House Democrats say, though, they could vote as soon as next week.
Meantime, after locking his account for 12 hours back on Wednesday, today Twitter permanently suspended President Trump's account. The platform posted, quote, after close review of recent tweets from the @RealDonaldTrump account and the context around them, we have permanently suspended the account due to the risk of further incitement of violence. Today, President-elect Joe Biden announced he will not hold back any COVID vaccine doses, as the Trump administration is doing. Starting when he assumes office on January 20th, the government will release all the medicine. This guarantees the people who got their first shot can get the required booster as well. Well, today, Spokane Public School nurses received the COVID-19 vaccine.
Yeah, they got that first dose of Moderna's version. The vaccines were distributed at the SPS administration building. Those nurses are the first people within the school district to actually get vaccinated.
I just am really anxious for it to be available to the public so that our kids can stay in school, not have to be home, just so we could get a break in the pandemic so the trends can go down, so we can have a new normal that's a better normal than what we have now.
The vaccines were distributed to nurses in 10-minute increments, so it was spaced out and safe. Well, you may have heard it from maybe family or friends that they don't want to get the COVID vaccine because they've heard of people having bad reactions.
However, according to the CDC, the risk of that happening is astronomically low. They looked at people getting the Pfizer vaccine from December 14th through the 23rd. There were nearly 1,900,000 doses given during that time period, and of those, roughly 0.02% of people getting the vaccine had a reaction at all.
What's the worst that can happen with COVID? What's the worst with the vaccine? The vaccine is fairly harmless. I mean, it is minuscule, and the side effects that have happened are almost none. I mean, compared to COVID.
Now, even with the low number of severe allergic reactions, the CDC is still recommending places giving COVID vaccines to also have medication on hand to treat any possible reactions.